All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, folks. Welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck. My name is Adam Arduna. This is my mom, Gina.
He is the journalist.
And she is the enthusiast.
And it's football season, so I am enthusiastic.
Woo, finally. We're almost exactly to the point where we can consider ourselves in the regular in-season, where all the games matter. Right now, we're still in preseason. We just had week 2 wrap up, and we're actually now into week 3 as we had some games play last night because of the schedules. They go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Exciting. They don't really play on Sundays yet, but obviously in the regular season, they play on Sundays and Mondays for Monday Night Football. And then they do actually have games on Thursdays.
Oh yeah, now they're expanding that.
Yeah, they've expanded it. Yes, and so it's called TNF, Thursday Night Football.
Well, you know, in this house, football season starts in June. That's when the camps and stuff get going. But you know what I mean.
It is. And so we're just gonna recap sort of what we saw last week and what we're excited about going into this week, and kind of going more into this final week where, and the last week of preseason, it's more of the guys that are still on the roster that maybe haven't made a lot of plays yet, but they haven't been cut yet. So they're going to get their last opportunity to shine through, and that's mainly the starters will get maybe 1 or 2 series, and then everybody else that's still left.
And hopefully you're not on a team that is being watched by Hard Knocks, because you're going to get cut on camera.
Well, let's go ahead and sort of talk about that. So the Hard Knocks team this year is the LA Rams, who did move from St. Louis. We mentioned that in our first preseason week 1 review or preview, I guess. Yeah. And so week 2 was a big game because, well, you got your shirt on, and we are obviously in Kansas City.
Team.
And so the Chiefs were coming to town in LA, La La Land, Mr. Hollywood. And their former starting quarterback, Mr. Nick Foles, who is now a Kansas City Chief, was returning to the Rams, coming back home. So it was a big game for both teams, if you will, because week 2 was kind of where the main starters get a lot more reps, and you get to kind of see what the offense really looks like, and you don't really know what the teams are going to be doing as far as blitzing packages and how much more offensive plays are going to be out there.
Well, and I think that's one of the tough things about the preseason games is you want to test what you put in. Maybe you put in new stuff. You want to see if people are catching on to your scheme.
Sure.
But you also don't want to put everything out there.
And so everyone kind of gets more opportunities than you will. And then week 3 is more of, hey, we're going to let our starters play mainly more the first quarter, even a little bit more into the first half, if you will. Right. Because then we get to see the full offense, the full defense. Everyone kind of gets that last final run through. And then, like I said, that 4th game of the preseason generally goes to the guys that are trying to make it.
To the roster.
Exactly. So it's a big deal. So with that, we just said week 2 was LA and Kansas City.
It was.
And if you're a Chiefs fan.
And that game ended at halftime.
Exactly. If you're a Chiefs fan and you're just looking at, hey, the starters did very well.
Our 1s and 2s
just like week 1 against Seattle, as far as the Chiefs go. They looked very sharp, looked very good. What were your initial thoughts on those guys, at least for the Chiefs?
Well, and like I said, against Seattle, I was very proud of us. I think we're playing well, offense and defense. You know, I think we have one of the most underrated defenses in the league. And I know people say, oh, no, you get credit. We really don't. Not the way I think we should.
Sure.
And I think our offense is something that Andy Reid has really put a lot of dedication into building up. We obviously lost our OC going back to Philly, but I was impressed. I think our 1s and 2s have won both of the 2 games they've played in.
Right.
You know, when we have lost the 2 games.
We've lost. We're 0-2 to start the preseason, and no one wants to start 0-2.
No, we got it. But
if you're just looking at things as far as the progression, as far as what your 1s are doing when they're in there, they're moving the ball beautifully. The defense is
Isn't Ware our little running back now?
Yeah, Spencer Ware out of LSU, undrafted, and so he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he's really been doing a good job. Him and Shark West carried the load for us last year as Jamal Charles went down, and so it was really nice to see him have 2 good games. And
I hope we keep him.
The offense with Andy Reid has really revamped itself. There's a lot of good things going there. And so if you're a Chiefs fan, you should be happy about that.
Right.
If you're a Seattle fan, you should also be happy because not only do you have Russell Wilson, who is an all-star, MVP, just a great quarterback in his own right, but his backup
is Trayvon Boykin.
Trayvon Boykin is killing it right now. He is honestly doing a very fantastic job. And if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan, you will be very impressed and pleased with that as well.
Well, and, you know, obviously Seattle, they've lost Marshawn Lynch and
yes.
that sort of thing. But what I want to flip and talk about is Seattle's defense,
okay.
which looked very impressive last night. I know I'm jumping around.
No, that's great, but this is what we're talking about, the preseason here.
Last night. It was a late game, so if you're where we are, we're in the Midwest, or if you're from here to the East Coast, it was a really late game for you. Kicked off at 7 or 8 o'clock over there.
Right.
It was 9 o'clock here. The rating, the TV had it wrong. But anyway, the defense for Seattle looked spectacular.
Right.
They were bringing the heat. And I think, was it 27-17? And listen, preseason scores, I don't worry about them. I get that. It's not a big indicator. What you need to do is watch the scheme and watch how people are firing off. They got rid of Tony Romo pretty quick.
Yeah, it was after play 3 of the first drive. He was already out of there. So that's a whole other thing we'll talk about later on.
But I was talking about Seattle. You should be really excited about that defense. Offensively, your weapons are there. You're going to be fine. You've got a great starting quarterback, a great backup quarterback. You've got a beautiful mind in Pete Carroll. But your defense is going to make you Legion of Boom?
Legion of Boom.
They start looking boomalicious
they can get back to that
night.
2014 or 2013
got that
seasons.
Boom, boom, pow.
They're going to be just fine.
That was fun to watch.
As we get
jump
with that, jump around a little bit. So within week 2, I just want to highlight what we saw. We watched the Philadelphia Eagles play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And someone that, as we mentioned, Coach Preason, who is now the head coach, he was a former quarterback for the Eagles. He's been with Andy Reid for a long time. Now he's back. He's got an opportunity to be their head coach. He took Chase Daniels along with him, who signed a 3-year, $12 million contract for really just being the backup quarterback.
Chase got some
That's really good. That's some really good insurance there.
$12 million to run the twos and sit down.
I mean, man, that's impressive. And he's a quality backup. He's a Super Bowl champion with the New Orleans Saints behind Drew Brees. And so he's got experience, and he's a quality backup. But that's a lot of money for a backup quarterback. But
boy, Colt McCoy got his money being a backup.
And he's still actually, that's another guy I wanted to mention. He's actually playing very well, and he did some good things with Washington, which, hey, it's like, hey, if you're some team that is still looking for a quarterback, go get Colt McCoy, because he is still balling out there.
Okay, that's we need to do a whole show just about that.
Right.
Because there are some great quarterbacks who are being underutilized right now. Colt McCoy is one of them, but sidebar. Okay, so back to Steelers and Eagles.
Exactly. Well, with Sam Bradford, he has had some news in the summer about he wanted to leave because they drafted Carson Wentz, and he wasn't really sure about his placement and a whole new coaching staff, and he was a little frustrated.
I get that.
But he looked really good. His release is always as quick as can be. He was throwing some good passes. I think the future is still very bright for him. I think Coach Peterson's going to really bring him along and help him develop even more. And so the Eagles, I think, will still be fine as far as the quarterback position goes. And I think they're going to be okay. And then as far as the Steelers looked, Mike Tomlin, and you know what they've got. And
offense, defense, James Harrison, Big Ben, Mike Tomlin.
They're going to be, Antonio Brown at receiver. They're going to be fine. So, week 2 is already over. We're starting week 3, so there's still some games that haven't been played yet. But it's going to be a fun week 3.
Who I'm looking forward to, and I know we got to wrap up. I'm looking forward to seeing my future son-in-law, Colin Kaepernick, who finally gets to come out for the 49ers. He unfortunately got stuck with Chip Kelly.
He did.
Thank goodness the Eagles got rid of him, but he landed in San Francisco. And, it's the same thing. Colin was trying to get out, and basically they got him leg chained, there. And I guess it's a great place. I love San Francisco. I just wish Chip Kelly wasn't there. But I'm excited to see Colin. We're going to get to see him this week.
Well, and then also with last night's game, as we do wrap it up, I want to give a shout out to one of my good friends, one of my former teammates at Kansas State, Daniel Thomas,
DT,
who is still out there working. He's with the Miami Dolphins, and he's kind of been bounced around a little bit. He got drafted by them, and he went to the Bears for about a half second, and now he's back in Miami, and he's backing up Arian Foster, who's got a new team. As he was with Houston, and they ousted him out, and now he's with Miami with new life. So the future is pretty bright out there. So I'm excited. It was a good game.
They look good.
Yeah, they've looked good. Now they did get beat by the Cowboys pretty badly. It was 41-14 in week 2. But they played last night and looked really well. And I actually believe they won last night.
They did win, and Sue went out. We could talk about football all day.
Yeah, so the preseason is in full motion. There's still another week to go. We're going to continue to bring up more updates. We're just excited because it's football time. So we're going to continue to watch very closely, and hopefully nobody gets hurt as the season gets ready to start, and we're just excited. So
we're excited.
We appreciate your time, folks. Thanks for watching.